Well, hold on, my darling. This mess was yours. Now your mess is mine.
Alright, welcome back to My Ball. This is episode 9. We're just going to be talking about what happened this past weekend in the Premier League. Got a couple middle sections, player of the week, stinker of the week. And then right before we predict what's going to happen next week, we will go through our top 10 players from 2013 to now. That's the last decade. So kind of a odd
And it'll be not Messi and Ronaldo.
not named Messi and Ronaldo. Kind of a weird timeline because split down right the middle of it. It almost turns into a different era of soccer. But anyway, nonetheless, getting into the first game that happened last week, we had Liverpool, Everton. Mo Salah gets 2 in the 2-0 win. That brings him to 29 goal contributions in his last 24 Premier League games. He's the standout. He's the point of difference. He's always been the point of difference, to quote Peter Drury. Who else y'all think might have had a little bit of difference in there?
I mean, they were firing it at Pickford. Szoboszlai, you can just tell when he's winding up, he's going to send a little piss rocket right at the keeper.
He hits the ball a little bit different.
Yeah, Trent had a good shot. I don't know, man. This looked like the Liverpool of old. Just speed up top, kind of athletic midfielders that are willing to run, and then defenders that just kind of made it quiet. Alisson wasn't needed a whole lot this game.
Yeah, I thought Liverpool had a lot of chances early. Just kind of couldn't break the Everton defense. And then Ashley Young, I thought he started the game really, really good. Had a great tackle on Diaz in the 12th minute to stop a goal. And then in the 37th minute, he gets his second yellow card, gets sent off. And then, from there, it's a completely different game. Everton pretty much just parked the bus, tried to get a point out of the game. It took Liverpool a good bit of time till the 75th to finally get a goal. But, the quality of Mo Salah is going to shine through at some point in the game. It's just inevitable. And they get a nice 2-0 win.
Yeah. Ashley Young was definitely imposing himself no matter how it was going to have to happen, and it ended up being a little too much. But he wasn't the only – Luis Diaz was giving him fits, and he was also kind of giving everybody else fits. We're not the biggest Luis Diaz fans, I don't think, in general
I
on
think
this
he's
channel.
Solid, man.
Art thinks he's solid, but none of us are – nobody else is really too high on him. But he does the little things that you really don't like. I don't even like it, but it helps his team. They almost Ashley Young, it was on his second yellow. It was almost in the box. It would have been a penalty where it wasn't a ridiculously dumb challenge from Ashley Young to launch himself in there at the ball. But Luis Diaz, instead of taking a touch with the ball at his feet, he moves his foot right in between Ashley Young's incoming foot and the ball.
Yeah.
And it is a foul. So he's crafty like that. Not everybody likes people like that. They like to see the game, a little bit as fair as can be. He's like
a beautiful game.
Yeah, he's like just reminds me of like a Grayson Allen type of guy. Just you hate him, but he does little things that help his team win.
Yeah, I think that pretty much summed up the day for Everton, though. Really sloppy. The first goal was handball. I think it was Michael Keane. Just terrible handball. I was sticking his hand way far out in front of him.
Yeah.
Phil Neville said something after the game like, I don't know where he's supposed to put his hand. Not out in front of him. I thought that was just terrible, especially from a veteran defender like him. But
Phil Neville said some dumb things.
Yeah, I thought Pickford still had a really good game despite everything.
Yeah, they were sending it at him. I had about 3 lines of notes about that exact play that Luis Diaz made with putting his foot right where it had to be. Yeah, the second PK bid, I don't think you can go against that call. It's pretty undebatable. Only thing I would say, Liverpool might need PED testing after this game. Their legs were firing, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. Harvey Elliott's
Uh,
shot at the end was insane.
Oh yeah,
Pickford's
Harvey
save
Elliott
was
too.
even better.
Yeah.
What's his yeah, dude, Mo Salah is just too good.
Mhm.
That second goal there, I don't think it was just a breakaway. It was a 2v1 with Darwin carrying the ball and Salah to his right. And Darwin played the ball to him so late. I don't know
Mhm.
if anybody else in the world stays on side and finishes the ball,
Mhm.
Yeah.
but it's just no issue for Mo Salah. Mo Salah's instincts are worlds better than most everybody else, and it just makes that's what makes his measurables seem so impressive. Is
Yeah.
starts with his instincts. It's nuts. He's nuts.
It was so classy. It was so classy.
Mo Salah
In short.
masterclass. Can't
He's
get enough
so
of it.
absolute.
All righty, let's move to the Bournemouth versus Wolves game, though. 2-1 win for Wolves. Bournemouth started the game pretty early. I mean, moving the ball pretty well, had a good chance early, I thought. Just a soft finish from the guy
You talking
playing on
about
the
the
right. I
one
can't.
with Brooks? Yeah,
Yeah, I
Brooks.
believe so. Yeah,
Yeah.
just a soft finish right
He
at the
hit it
keeper.
with his purse. He hit
Yeah,
it
I
with his
mean,
purse.
it just not good at all, really, in my opinion. Pedro Neto had a firecracker off the post early in the game, though. That guy is I can't
After
get
cutting
enough
in
of
and
this.
skating across the whole 18 and half the team.
Did
And
you hear what the commentator said about that one?
what'd he say?
So the goalie's name was Neto as well.
Oh yeah,
And
Almost
he
put it in
said
the net.
they were big on that.
so
Oh yeah.
Neto almost put it past Neto to put in the Neto. That's good stuff.
They were both the
Oh.
commentators that game. I don't know who they were, but they were working off of each other with that Neto thing. Oh, the other Neto. Friggin'
Can't say enough about that Neto guy, though. I mean, he's putting all of Wolverhampton on his back. It's extremely impressive.
Yeah.
Pretty much the whole offense in the first half.
Up until the 88th minute, the only note I had for this game was Pedro Neto. Is he actually this good? Question
Yeah.
mark. And then just how? Question mark. He's fucking.
Yeah.
He's yeah.
The first goal for Bournemouth was really good, though. Billing playing it in to Solanke, good little flick to finish it. I thought they were playing really well in the first half. They went into halftime up 1-0. And then they just proceeded to just have one of the dumbest second halves I've ever seen. Pedro Neto, I mean, right out the gate, they come out. Pedro Neto shakes two dudes, dribbles it up, plays Cunha. Great first time finish. Great first time finish that ties the game. So I mean, you can at least hold on, get a point if you're Bournemouth. I think that'd be a precious point too, especially in the position that they've been in the run of games that they've just had. And then Lewis Cook just gets a stupid red card. Just stupid. I mean, you're fighting for a game. It's 1-1. You're still in it, and then to get yourself sent off after just losing your cool. This team's lacking so much discipline. It's actually insane to me. What about y'all?
I think it might be notable. Might be a notable little theme in the Premier League. It might benefit you to have a couple dudes on your team that just look exactly the same. You know, you see it with Newcastle. You got Callum Wilson, Joe Willock, and Jacob Murphy. They're all pretty much different thirds of the same guy. And then
it's not like anything like Callum Wilson.
For Bournemouth, Solanke and Philip Billing, if they had the same facial hair, they'd be twins. So who knows? You know, they connected on the goal. They seem like the only bright spots for Bournemouth this year. I don't know. Maybe that might be part of it. Did you get to? Never mind. Luke had something. I'm gonna cut that out.
I mean, it was all I had to say was Neto with the goalkeeper Neto. Just a stupid pass. Just threw the point away.
Oh my gosh, dude. Just
It's
so
just so
dumb.
bad.
And I mean, Billing could have done better once he received the ball. Me and Miguez were talking about it before, but what are you doing? What's the thought process there?
You're already a man down. You're already a man down,
And
and
you're
you get
clinging to a point that you
2 minutes.
desperately
Yeah,
need. Like that would have
two
been a
minutes of
great
possession.
result, a man down, and then to just throw I thought it was pitiful from Bournemouth. I think this team is. I think there's no way that they stay up the way that they've been looking. I mean, it's been pitiful.
Yeah, you can't be bad and careless.
Yeah.
I did have this little play going 50-50 for whose fault it was at first, but yeah, it starts with the goalkeeper. It's he had no need to do that. You just be a little bit smart. And then but Philip Billing too, like he had one guy close to him within 30 yards. I mean, if he just turns and finds somebody's feet, nobody talks about how stupid the pass was from the goalkeeper. So it's a little bit on Philip as well, but definitely starts with the goalkeeper.
Yeah, nonetheless, really good win for Wolves. They move up to 12th in the Premier League right now. They're looking great as of recent.
Very surprising. I think
Slow start.
Slow start. Cunha's a little bit inconsistent. He can pull out things like this. Like that finish was pretty crazy. I did have my last note on this. If Neto had a top 3 striker, Neto would be.
Yeah, I think he might be moving in January.
He might be in between Salah and Saka at that point.
He looks
like
amazing.
legitimately, not just on form.
Mm-hmm.
I think another little note. I believe that Wolves coach right now got fired by Bournemouth last year or the year before. So pretty nice win for him. I'm sure he's pretty happy about that. But great win for the team.
Yeah, we're good.
All righty, let's move to the Brentford versus Burnley game. 3-0 win for Brentford. And man, the Bees were on one. Luke, I'm gonna let you take this one away. This is so impressive.
Well, they weren't getting the results that you should probably expect them to be getting before the break. They made 3 changes to starting lineup, shook things up, and I think it paid off. It was good coaching by their coach. The first goal, I loved it. All 3 of their attackers touched the ball.
Yeah.
Nice little just weighted pass, curvy, put a little swaz on it. That's that kind of curve.
Great ball by Malpai.
Pro clubs,
Mm-hmm.
It's that kind of curve you got to earn. But yeah, perfect ball from Blamo. But then like their past games, you ask, could they hold the lead? And they didn't just do that. They put in a couple more of the best goals that we saw all week.
Dude, I mean, talk about that in Blamo at the second goal. I mean, couldn't have put it any better in the top left corner. Just beautiful, beautiful finish.
Yeah, crowd loved it.
Mm-hmm.
Koleosho missed a really good opportunity to put him back into the game. I think it was 2-0 at that point.
Yeah, would have made it 2-1. Could have maybe gotten back into the game. Lyle Foster did great to get it across to him.
Yeah,
you got to do better.
That looked pretty American from Koleosho.
Yeah,
but
thank God he was wearing black shorts.
Yeah, I don't want Koleosho on my national team as badly anymore. Yeah. Another interesting thing, Brentford starting lineup, everybody's from a different country except for 2 Danish center mids.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I mean,
Jensen
they got
no English guys.
Jensen and Norgard?
Yeah.
Yeah, Blamo and Wisa are from Wisa's from what? Democratic Republic of the Congo. He's got to be the best player in their history.
He's got to be the biggest knob in their history too.
Did have you heard of this Saman Godos dude before goal?
The guy with the rip? No.
Yeah, I've never heard of this dude, but I mean, oh my Lord.
He's Iranian.
Big deflection off the corner, or I think it was off some type of cross. Big deflection, falls right to him, off one bounce, just rips it, man. What a beautiful goal.
I like that shout on the diversity. Brentford's all in it. No room for racism. No room for.
They're not worried about what country they're from. They're just worried about that output. That's that money ball right there.
That's money.
We're gonna find it. Brentford's gonna find it. For Burnley though, they were on the back foot pretty much from the very start of the game. They're not creating enough chances, and when they are creating chances, they're not finishing them. I think we've said this before, but in the Premier League, man, like they Brentford's a team that if you're gonna stay up, you need to sneak a point or something out of a team like Brentford, like at least once in a season. So, I mean, they just haven't showed that yet, and I think they could be in trouble.
Burnley haven't showed any desire to stay up. I I don't.
They're not showing the drive for those 1 points like Luton is.
Yeah.
Luton is just fucking. Luton wants it, man.
Luton is fighting.
The Hatters are coming.
And
I
Luton
thought they were
doesn't.
really impressive this
Luton
week.
doesn't have to want it as bad as Burnley. Luton doesn't.
They got no
have-
reason to.
No skin. No
Yeah.
whatever. But
No
I was
skin in the
looking.
game.
I was looking for where. Yeah. I'm gonna clean that up. But Wissa, Congo, and Mbeumo, Cameroon, and their two Danish center mids. They got a Danish head coach. So
All right, let's move on to the Man City versus Brighton game. 2-1 win for Man City, getting back to their winning ways. Started really, really quick. Doku was a problem for the first 5-6 minutes in this game.
Is he next up? I wasn't
I
that
think
familiar
he
with
might
this
be.
game.
I love how he was taking people on. I thought that was really entertaining to watch. Took Gross on and played the ball to Alvarez. Alvarez had a great finish. Great first time finish to beat the goalkeeper, make it 1-0. And then Haaland finally back, man. First goal in 4 games for him.
it was burning him up.
Yeah, I'm sure he was eating him alive.
He can't stand to not have a goal for after the first 5 minutes of a game. You
I
can
think it
just
was a
tell
pretty
how
good
bad
goal.
it's eating him up. It was
Yeah,
good.
it was
It was
a great
outside the
finish.
box.
Low
4 or
and
5
hard.
yards
all he
outside
needs
the
is-
box.
When he gets like 20 yards in, all he needs is like a little space. That's what it kind
Mhm.
of showed. Not that
Yeah.
he always finishes from that distance, but like
But he's
he'll
gonna
need
kick
a
it
couple
pretty
more
hard.
touches, if anything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
was. You could. I think you could tell he was
it's-
fiending for that shit, man.
it's not gonna
He
be up to the
celebrated a
goalie.
good bit too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not gonna leave it up to the goalie. If he's gonna miss, he's gonna boom it off the bar or something.
Yeah,
But,
I also want to touch on one little thing. Foden in the second half had a beautiful, beautiful run. It set up like no, it was in the first half. Beautiful run, set up a Doku miss. I think it was late in the first half, but man, he was just gliding in that midfield. When De Bruyne gets back, they need to find a way to keep Alvarez, Foden, and De Bruyne and Rodri on the field.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're going to do it, but I don't think that any of those guys need to see bench time. I mean, they've just been phenomenal.
I agree. I
So
think
who do
I
you
thought
take off? You take off Ronaldo?
I don't know. Maybe you take off a defender and you play 3-back.
maybe you take off Doku, bring him on late.
I
don't know.
If they just played Alvarez and Haaland up top, I think it can maybe work. But I just don't know what that formation would look like.
Yeah,
I just know that I think those dudes need to be on the field.
yeah, I agree. They've been with De Bruyne out. It's like that. I don't know. With no De Bruyne for the whole first half.
Almost no drop off.
I thought for the whole first half they made Brighton look like a mid-table team.
Mm-hmm.
Made Brighton look like how it used to be, just a Man City Brighton game.
Yeah, 110%. I agree.
And that Doku dude, I was not that familiar with his game either. Chelsea showed a little bit of interest in him right before the deadline, so I looked a little bit. But whenever you watch somebody's highlights, all you see is him trying to take people on and do this and that. But when you watch Doku live, he will never get the ball without immediately putting his head down and trying to beat whoever's in front of him. It's crazy.
I think it's
kinda
refreshing
crazy.
after watching Grealish just
nanny
around for 2 years for Man City.
It is refreshing coming from Grealish, but I just don't know how Doku's going to get any assists. Grealish can get some assists. Grealish, I mean, it is passing back, but every now and then he'll find Haaland over the top or something like that, or back post. But I don't know how Doku's going to get any assists. I don't know how he got the first assist today. He only passes when there's no one left to dribble past, and he doesn't have an angle for a shot. But I mean, playing for Man City, and being as good as he is technically, you can dribble past people, and there'll be somebody open.
I think Brighton played pretty well in the second half. I'm not that down on them. They showed a little more that they could play a little more direct and counter.
Yeah.
They need to add that to their
Especially-
arsenal a little bit.
That the first goal, or the only goal that they had, the counterattack was great. Ball movement was great. Matoma, Matoma. Did y'all see Matoma cooking?
Yeah.
Dude, he was cooking them boys up.
Matoma had
Yeah.
Kyle
He
Walker on.
He cooked Kyle Walker.
He had him on a
He
better
had him in a
noodles.
spin cycle, dog. That shit was kind of crazy.
Yeah,
He
he had
cooked
some
him, and he
great
cooked.
dribbles in the first half
yeah.
too.
He had John Stones on skates in the first half. Good to see John Stones back, by the way. But yeah, I mean, he was cooking them boys. I think a big reason for Man City's success though was that Ortega in goal, man. He was doing great, getting off his line, disrupting plays and everything. But yeah, I think late Brighton came on pretty well, but it just wasn't enough. And I mean, Akanji stopped that late counterattack that they had.
He couldn't wait 10 more seconds.
Yeah.
I think that was kind of silly. I know it stopped the
counterattack. So, I mean,
put the game away, but I think someone else could have done it.
Yeah.
Brighton, dude, I was looking at their lineup. They are so young. I really hope they keep the core together.
Solly Marsh got hurt in that game as well.
Yeah.
I think the coach said that it was going to be pretty bad.
It looked pretty bad.
How old is he? Is he pretty young?
I think he's like
he's 29.
He's 29.
I'm
So
thinking
yeah, that's. I mean, losing a veteran player. They're still playing Europa League ball. They're bottom of their group, so I think they might just kind of zone out on the Europa League, kind of just focus on the Premier League for right now, because I think they're doing pretty well so far. Might be able to challenge for a pretty good spot. Y'all got anything else on? Actually, I got one more little tidbit on this game. Julian Alvarez is up to 7 goal contributions in 9 games this year. I believe that's got him like 4th or 5th in goal contributions in the league right now. If he's not in the world class room, then I just don't know how you get in there. He's going to find the secret entrance.
There's probably been a lot of people. There's probably been a lot of people 4th or 5th in goal contributions 9 games in that are not world class. I don't know, but he's I mean,
he's good, man.
How many does he have? You said
he's got 7 in 9 games.
Yeah, I'm sure. Ollie Watkins has 7 or more.
I think he's got 10. He's got 10.
They're. But
you
said
Julian,
4th or 5th.
Alvarez is also playing out of position. You got to keep that in account. He's playing out of position. He's a striker by nature.
There's like one or
I'm
two
just saying,
people.
it's too early to make that like a critical stat.
Yeah, there's like one or two people tied for first, and like 3 or 4 people tied for second, and then 3 or 4 people tied for.
It's
third.
Salah at 11, Holland and Ollie Watkins at 10, and then it's Madison and Son at 8, and then I think there's some Newcastle.
Everybody else tied at 7.
It's like 4 or 5 at 7.
Yeah.
So speaking of Newcastle, let's move on to the Newcastle versus Crystal Palace game. 4-0 win for Newcastle. Really never stressed at any point in this game. I really couldn't. About 4 minutes in, Fabian Schär, fucking behave. Just behave. I think it should be illegal how good of a ball that is from a center back. I mean, he's just class, man. From the goal in the Champions League against PSG to, I mean, beautifully sets up Trippier. Trippier first time plays it over to Jacob Murphy. And then Jacob Murphy just accidentally has like the best chip I've almost ever seen. We'll get to the other best chip I've ever seen later, but I mean,
better than Haji Wright's in the World Cup.
That's tough.
Shoot, dirty.
But really overall, just great game. Trippier is just unplayable still. Another assist. I think he goes top of the league, tied with Neto. An assist total. But yeah, we just beautiful game from this guy right here, Jacob Murphy, man, coming off the bench. I mean, if we had to line up all of our wingers, he's probably the 4th choice. But he was the best player on the field. Every single touch that this dude it was with a purpose. He was doing something good, and it's either going to a pass or a shot, and just beautiful. Every pass that one goal, 2 assists on the day. The 2 passes that he made were just beautiful. The first one across into the box for Anthony Gordon, beautiful finish from Gordon. But can't say enough about the pass. And the third goal before half, Mark Gay, he just stumbled, kind of lost the ball. Longstaff took it, finished. I think Johnstone could have done a little bit better, but I'll take those. And by the way, Longstaff is not going on vacation. There was some stuff on Twitter this week. Everybody thought he was going to go on vacation with his little brother. Nah, kid is locked in. We're here.
The Longstaff brothers planned a little holiday for the month of November. They just need to clear their heads, travel the world together. But
somebody put that on Twitter, and everybody started freaking out. And after the game, he was like, "No holiday for me." So no holidays on this end. It's all business.
That's one of the local Newcastle guys, huh?
Yeah. You got everyone with it too.
Good lad.
And then Jacob Murphy for the last goal. Just beautiful ball around the defense to Callum Wilson. Couldn't have placed it any better. And then Callum Wilson, great finish. It was Jacob Murphy all day. I can't say enough about this dude. He was brilliant. And really not much to say for Palace. They didn't really have many chances. Really just corners in the first half. First decent chance came in the 63rd, but Pope collected it pretty easily. And I think we could have easily scored like 7 goals on these guys. I'm not gonna lie. We were kind of peppering them. And but yeah, we subbed everybody out, I think in about the 70th or something. So we're getting ready to play them boys in black and yellow.
Yeah. I know you said I know you said you can line all your wingers up and you maybe pick Jacob Murphy, but if you lined up Jacob Murphy, Joe Willock, and Callum Wilson, it looks like Jacob Murphy is their son if they made a kid. That's pretty much all I gathered from it, other than, dominating Crystal Palace. There's a lot of people better than Crystal Palace, and Newcastle is better than Crystal Palace, but not everybody dominates them for some reason.
Mm-hmm. United lost to them last week. So
I was about to say
Palace and West Ham, just 2 of those teams that get more points than
we made them look like a championship team this week. It was honestly kind of bad.
I thought it was a very impressive win. Palace only given up 11 goals this year. I gave up 4 today or that day.
Yeah.
A goal from every one of the attackers. Trippier is so good.
So good.
I don't know if it was the 3rd or 4th goal. He made an overlap run that just cleared a ton of space for the cross. I want to say it's the 3rd goal.
It was
because it wasn't
third goal was all Longstaff.
Okay, maybe it was the 2nd goal.
It might have been the 2nd goal. I think it was the 2nd goal.
It was Murphy assisted it.
Yeah, he had that one, and then he had one. If it was the cross, then it was the 2nd.
It was the 2nd goal then. Yeah, Trippier made like an 80-yard sprint just to overlap, and like the left back kind of had to choose, and he kind of shifted over. Center back came to take on Jacob Murphy, and then it was a really good ball from Jacob Murphy. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this was liquid football. This was really good stuff. No notes.
Just a few little stats for everybody. So through 9 games, we lead the Premier League in goals with 24, expected goals with 19.89, shots on target in the box with 46, shot conversion rate with 18.9%, and also big chances scored with 20. So I think it might be safe to say that this is the best offense in the Premier League, maybe in the world. Who knows? Wow.
Next gen stats.
Jody boys are flying.
We'll see tomorrow.
Hey, we will see tomorrow. It's going to be a good game. It's going to be a great game. Best of luck to you, man. Same game is going to be a scary ass.
Thank lames.
Well, let's move on to the Nottingham Forest versus Luton Town game. 2-2 draw. This was a really, really good game.
Yeah. I thought it was very entertaining.
Forest isn't getting the results right now, and I think it's obviously going to get harder once AFCON hits, which we're going to talk about in upcoming episodes because they're going to lose a lot of players. But They in
Like
the
30% of
playing
the
down
team.
the wings, man, they look so impressive. They whatever they wanted on the wings versus Luton, they were getting for most of the game. I thought that Gibbs White and Alanga, just that link up is so scary. The first goal, those two linked up, gets a through ball to Chris Wood. Great finish from him. Kind of surprised that he's starting over Origi, but I guess it makes sense. 2 goals today. And then the second goal from Forrest, Alanga shakes a defender with 2 little step overs and finds the head of Chris Wood. Really, really good finish from Chris Wood. I mean, that's what he's there for. Just ping the ball into him. And Forrest, he's the right man up top for them, I guess, because they're just pinging shit in from the wings.
I think his first goal was very underrated.
Mhm.
A lot of times, like, so he got that ball from Malanga, and the commentator touched on this. He could have like kept going in the direction of the ball, and it would have given the defender like an angle to get like touch him at least. But he went across the defender, and if the defender had touched him, it would have been a PK or a red card at least, because there's no one in behind.
Mhm.
And then it was a really good finish. So yeah, Chris Wood.
Chris
The
Wood,
Crafty
man.
little
Kiwi,
shit.
right? The Kiwi?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
We
definitely
offloaded him this summer, man. Lost a lot of money on him. Lost a lot of money on that guy. But it looks like
2-0
he's
worst
doing
league in
good.
soccer.
two worse than soccer.
Worst league in soccer 2-0. This confirms.
Luton though, had a good chance early, but just went across the face. I don't think the dude could get to it on the backside. Really just getting killed in the first half, off the wings and everything. But I mean, late in the game, man, them dudes just came on. They just won't stop. They've got so much heart. I think it's Ogbene.
Yeah.
I think it was a free kicks or something, deflection, and then I mean he hit it.
He
Really,
just had
really
the
smooth.
quickest jump to the ball.
Yeah, I mean we had some great volleys this weekend. This was one of them. Great finish to make it 2-1, get him back into the game, and then right at the end of the game, man, Tom Lockyer again, beautiful, beautiful ball into the box, and then
Our guy.
Adebayo just muscles his defender and finishes perfectly.
Lockyer's becoming
Gets
one
a
of my
point
favorite
for him.
players. He saved another goal. There was a goal. I think it was in the first half. There was a free kick for Forrest, and it like was bouncing around, and he came in and cleared it. Like it was crucial clearance. But yeah, it was weight room on that second goal. It was a good ball from Lockyer, but
Yeah.
what's his face
Just
blocked him
wait.
out. It was
Yeah,
Kabore?
Adebayo, man.
Oh, Adebayo, yeah.
Adebayo, just
Yeah,
that's just
sick,
big
come
boy
here, little
football
boy.
right there.
Hmm.
You have to get
Love-
into the weight room and work on that.
I love our relationship with Tom Lockyer. Started out just shitting on him first or second game of the year.
That
Just
ponytail's flying around now.
pleasantly impressed ever since. So much
Yeah.
respect earned.
So much.
Do y'all want to end this one and go
Yeah, I guess so.
into because we'll probably take more than 5 minutes on Arsenal and Chelsea. What do you think? If you think we can squeeze it in, then let's go for it.
Let's go ahead and squeeze it.
I think we can do it.
All right, let's move on to the Chelsea versus Arsenal game, 2-2 draw. I'm just gonna hand it off to Mr. Miguez.
Yeah, started 2-0 up. We really actually, I mean, Arsenal's big thing is they full press, like balls to the wall, full press from the first whistle. So if you can somehow get in the back of the net early, and then maybe get another one like we did, it can deflate them. But when you do that, you can't fuck up.
And
Just
take your foot
drop
off the gas.
just a dumb mistake. You can't slip up for 1 second. Which was what happened with our goalie Robert Sanchez, who's, like we've said I've said this the last 2 episodes in a row. He will make a couple saves he shouldn't be able to make, and then 1 or 2 times a game it's like he's like Dest. Like he'll create 3 goals, and how Dest gives up a goal or two. Robert Sanchez almost guaranteed to give up a goal. You just can't do that versus Arsenal, especially an Arsenal team that you built up a 2-0 win on that you weren't supposed to. Because all Arsenal needs is a little bit of hope. I mean, lucky to get that first breakthrough for them, but not luck from there on. They hold on to luck that they get and just use it. Just they take advantage of it. They squeeze every drop of juice out of it.
I think if I would have asked you, and I've already asked you about this, like if I would have asked you before the game, if you would have taken a draw, you would have said yes, 100%. But
Yeah, 2-2 draw.
after how the game started, I mean, it was literally, I mean, it was all Chelsea until literally the 77th minute when Declan Rice scored that goal. It was pretty much all Chelsea. You almost got a third one because Raya fucked up and threw the ball right to fucking Cole Palmer, and Cole Palmer couldn't get it around him. He did good to save it, but it was all y'all to start to pretty much the whole game. Cannon was loving it, and he you know, he was talking his shit. He was talking his shit, and it did come back to bite in the end. And I'm not gonna say whether, you know, I wasn't happy and I wasn't sad about it, but let me see.
I mean, the Mudryk goal wasn't. I mean, that was pretty fucking lucky.
That was just as lucky as the Declan Rice goal. Yeah,
not as lucky. He wasn't even looking at the goal at all.
That was probably the greatest. If he meant to do that, probably one of the greatest chips of all time.
How did y'all
feel
about
him and Jacob Murphy are going head to head for best chip this week, and I think Modric's got him just barely.
How did y'all feel about the handball?
I mean, I think it needs to be.
It's just I'm fine with it, but like, it's like
it's so hard,
I don't
especially
know,
in the air.
I don't know what I call like that needs to be like a handball every time or not never. And I feel like it's not. It's so inconsistent.
Well, they called it against Everton, so they had to call it against Arsenal. But there's been weeks where they didn't call it against the first game, and then now they can't call it the rest of that week. Yeah. And that's the answer. Who's at fault is who does not call that. That is a handball. That's it. You got it. You're right. You have to pick one. It's a handball or not. That's a handball. Whoever fucking. There's been 2 game weeks this year where the first game or second game, the ref did not call something like that a handball, and then they couldn't call it for the rest of the week. That's those guys' fault. That's a handball. Those are always handballs. I think they still are.
Odegaard was pretty quiet.
Yeah, he was really quiet this game.
Declan Rice had to step up, put the team on his back.
Dude, Bukayo Saka, man. That cross for the second goal was something else. He put it right on him, on a fucking thread.
Pretty brave finish by Troussard too. You know, heading right for the post. There's a guy right there. What's his face fell asleep for a second.
Great finish by him. Great little tap in.
Saka is one of those dudes that squeezes the life out of the momentum they get. Just
he'll just make something. He'll make something.
That's the thing about soccer. It takes one purely quality moment, and then that's enough for your contribution to the game. And
all right, let's move to the Sheffield United versus Manchester United game. 2-1 win for Man United. Pretty sloppy game, not gonna lie. Anthony is back for Manchester United, and shittier than ever. The first chance of the game from him was just probably one of the more pitiful ones that I've seen this year. Just terrible volley, but first goal, Scott McTominay. I mean, he just can't stop scoring. It's like Rashford last year. I think Scott McTominay is actually the R9 regen. They need to just stick him up top. He's got to be in the team somewhere. Put Hoyland on the right. Stick McTominay up top. The kid's clinical. I think
that's what I said. That's what I said to Gaskin at the Blue Martini. Asked me. Well, I forgot how we got to that, but I said stick Hoyland on the right, and Scott McTominay needs to play striker, dude.
Put him in the middle, man. Put him in the middle.
He looked super awkward on that play, but it was pretty good actually. Like there was a terrible ball from Bruno, handled it,
Yeah,
knocks the dude out, finished it.
that's a Scottish goal.
Yeah, goalie didn't think he would do that. No
No.
way he does that.
And then Scott McTominay turns right around, gives up a penalty in
Yeah.
the box.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way,
Classic SMT.
McBurney converts that. That's another goal contribution for Scott McTominay. He cannot stop contributing to goals. It is actually insane. And
Fuck. He's got to be up there tied with Jacob Murphy.
Anthony
But
did
wasn't
make up
this
for
the
the bad
game?
chance later in the game. He had a great cross into Rashford, who squared it to Hoyland, who just couldn't really get onto the ball. But he did redeem himself for the bad shot earlier.
Yeah, Luke, our new thing for Man United, everybody gets everybody gets a nickname because there's so many personalities on Man United. So I think I gave Anthony he doesn't really have like a last name or anything. I just gave him Brian Snanthony.
That's good.
We got obviously Virgil van Maguire's been
Virgil van Maguire.
That was originated by the Brits a couple years ago. Got to give it to him. But wasn't this the game, Ert, where he was fucking pinging it? Like,
yes,
there's a highlight video of Harry Maguire's pings
beautiful,
from this game.
He's got like 6 or 7.
His second nickname now is Harry McPearlow.
Yeah.
He got the ball at about midfield or maybe 10, 20 yards behind, and there's literally a highlight video of him like 15 or 20 times.
It's a good bit of time.
50 yards
balls, dude,
on somebody's
right on their
foot.
Right onto their foot. I mean, he's been playing great. I don't think he really had any defensive mistakes today in their Champions League game as well. He looked good in this game. It might be Maguire might be back, man. Give him the fucking armband. Give him the armband.
I would
Take
not
away from
mind
that
seeing
pussy
that.
Bruno.
Not mind seeing that.
I think it'd be pretty cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't. Bruno's a great player, but he just bitches too much for me to be the captain. Another player that had a great game in this game, as well as today, was Onana. Onana had really good game against Sheffield, and he saved a PK late in the game to get United their first win in the Champions League this year. Massive from him. Good to see him back in form after struggling early.
Another props I have to give because I've been one of the biggest things I've been complaining about and critical on this year of somebody. But I agreed with Gaskin, and he told me I have to give, I have to let it be heard. But Rashford actually picked his head up 5 or 6 times and found somebody. Apparently he did also against Copenhagen today, but I didn't. I was busy. I didn't watch enough of that game. But yeah, and then we saw Scott McTominay kind of had a stinker versus Copenhagen, but our Man United insider is predicting that he will be right back versus Man City next week.
Wow.
We got no reason to not agree.
Also, just want to say, right before half, Bruno had a free kick that smashed off the crossbar, inches from being an amazing free kick from him.
Amrabat had a nice shot hit off the upper 90.
Him as well.
Yeah.
Dallo was the one that finally went in, man. What a beautiful strike.
It was a really good shot. The goals just weren't team goals though. I really don't. This wasn't bad.
It's very
they
individual ball. I noticed that
they haven't had team goals
like
since Bruno and Pogba were in the midfield. They haven't had.
Look like they don't look like they want to play together. Like, it's weird.
I don't know what
they all got distaste for each other.
I would say this is pretty close to the lineup you'd have to go with. I'd put probably Garnacho in for Anthony. I know he usually plays on the left, but
he looked dog shit in the Champions League game today. He looked Garnacho looked so bad in the Champions League game today.
Damn.
From what I saw, I missed a little bit because I had a customer, but his touch was off. Rashford's touch was also off a little bit today, but I think he'll get back to it. I think they could have had a lot more goals against Sheffield, and I think he really we put 8 goals in against this Sheffield team. United only winning by 1 goal. Like, that's got to be just a tad bit worried. Just a tad. But
This
they
is
can
true.
get that
But
finishing
top of the
going.
league Spurs also. It's just, I guess it's just about on the day.
Yeah. All righty, let's move to the Aston Villa versus West Ham game. Going into this game, I thought that these were the pretty much exact same teams, but 4-1 win for Aston Villa. They looked really, really good pretty much all game. First half wasn't really too much going on. West Ham was doing pretty good at coping defensively. Areola had a world-class save on Douglas Luiz in the 11th minute. I thought Areola never has a bad game, but I mean, once they start going in, West Ham just goes all out, and then they just get shit on. But yeah, only one goal in the
A little
first.
closer. I think it was a little closer than the scoreline suggests.
Yeah.
The penalty wasn't earned. It was just Paqueta being dumbass, put Alvarez in a really bad spot.
Mm-hmm.
I think West Ham had some good chances early, and then they kind of, the Jared Bowen goal. There's another guy that just can't stop onto the net.
Yeah, a lucky goal right there.
He's the one.
Real generous deflection.
I would give Ollie Watkins the day off for that finish, though. That was so sexy.
Yeah, the 2 little step overs, belts one top bins, man. And then Leon Bailey, man.
Yeah.
Woo! Leon Bailey
shout
sent
for our guy.
Agard for a hot dog with extra mustard and cheese, brother. It was
Our
bad.
CONCACAF brother.
Leon Bailey's a bad man doing him like that, man. Whew.
I circled West Ham 42% possession. I said, does this double their season high? So
Jared Bowen would probably walk into the
who
U.S.
knows?
men's national team, but he probably will never start a game for England in a major tournament.
yeah, no shot.
He's a great player, too. Great player.
Yeah, he's the one.
He's making great form. He hadn't even phone is not ringing at all.
I think he was actually in the last one, but they let him play like the game that didn't matter, and then the game against Italy that actually mattered. They just played all the local leagues.
Which kind of surprised. Well, isn't he young? He's young.
He's pretty young,
Isn't
but
he?
like, I mean,
26.
Oh fuck, dude. Who am I thinking of? I thought Solly Marsh and him were young.
I think they might be
Must
putting
be thinking of
Madison on the
somebody
right
else.
for the national. I don't know what they're doing, honestly. They're not playing him up there.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Jared Bowen seems like somebody Southgate would pick.
Yeah, they're playing like 5 back right now. I don't know exactly what they're doing. But
No, you're gonna keep picking guys on City that don't play ever.
Yeah. Tactically, they're lost. England's national team are lost. But they're so skilled.
Something I heard Douglas Luiz is connected to Saudi. That could be.
oh, really?
Yeah,
That could be
he's
big
pretty
for them.
terrible.
He's 25. I mean, that would.
Douglas Luiz is 25, and he's linked to South. That
Mhm.
would suck. I mean, he's probably the best player on Aston Villa. I think he might be the captain. I'm not gonna lie. He's been playing
McGinn
amazing
was
for
the
them, man.
captain.
Everything goes through him in the midfield for Aston Villa, so that'd be a massive loss for them.
Yeah, I need to watch more Aston Villa. They looked pretty good today.
I'm
Or
glad they
whenever.
beat the dog
It's
shit
that
out of
good.
West Ham. They deserve it. They deserve it. Poverty ass club.
Yeah.
Let's move to the Tottenham versus Fulham game, though. 2-0 win for Spurs. They go top of the league. Son and Madison are tied for third in goal contributions with 8 apiece. And Ange Postecoglou has the most points in the first 9 games of a Premier League manager career. So, pretty safe to say that Spurs are off to a flying start here.
They're good.
They're different. They're better than Arsenal was last year. Arsenal had a lot of close calls. They're winning these games.
Yeah.
They're different gravy.
Winning. They're just fucking winning.
Spurs, I don't want to take away anything from them, but I have way more to say about Fulham in this game. Spurs did great. But Calvin Bassey, I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna let it out. He's my stinker.
This is their center back, right?
Yeah, this is the other center back. This is Ream's partner at center back. This is my stinker of the week. This dude is fucking terrible. Adam and Gaskin were making fun of Tim Ream for giving up that first goal. It's because dumbass fucking Bassey passes the ball right to the fucking other team, and then Ream's got to run over to fix his mistake, and then Bassey runs fucking right into him. It's none of that was Tim Ream's fault. This kid's a fucking retard playing the ball out of the back. I thought this was this is probably the worst performance I've seen all year. He gave him the first fucking goal. And then the second goal, it was pitiful passing again. Gave it right to him again. And then there was even another chance in the no, it wasn't the 83rd. I don't know what minute it was, but he nearly gave him another goal just passing the ball right to the other fucking team. I genuinely think Fulham could have gotten out of this game with a 0-0 draw. But this kid just gave them the fucking game. I don't know if they're paying him off. If he had a bet, I think we need to look into this dude's search history because he's got to have bets on the Tottenham goals somehow. This was terrible.
Yeah.
Where was Basuma this game?
He got a red card the last game.
Red card.
So he was out. So Hoiberg played. Yeah,
that's huge for them. He's huge.
Pretty much all Spurs all game though.
He lets Basuma being there lets James Maddison be James Maddison.
Yeah.
Without him, James Maddison has to be.
He had to drop back a lot more.
James Maddison and he has to start it. He has to start it, finish it, do everything. But with Basuma and Papsar usually somehow work it up and give it to Maddison in a great spot to do something that he's paid to do. But it's hurt him this game not having Basuma.
Yeah. Jimenez had a decent chance in the 83rd minute that I think he should have been. You got to be finishing that. I don't think Fulham's a bad team at all. I think this is just a bad result. They maybe need to look at getting somebody else in. I don't think Bassey is their normal center back. I think Diop is. I don't know if he got a red card last game and couldn't play, maybe too many yellows. So I think once they get Diop back, it'll go back to normal. But they need to get somebody in January up top because Jimenez is not the answer, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they're a bad team. I think they ran into the best team in the league.
I think Calvin Bassey just had a fucking the howler of all howlers. I mean, that was the difference of the game from what I saw. Spurs played great though, no taking nothing away from that, but Bassey just played so incredibly shitty.
It's the pressure. I mean, God, it's still crazy. We're not even a fourth of the way through this season. Yeah, and I guess I'm starting to feel the pressure for them, but there's so many more games to go. Yeah.
It really doesn't even matter till the last 5. It didn't matter. Arsenal led the Premier League until till
mid-April, I think.
Yeah, late April.
Early April.
Yeah, early or late April, somewhere in April. But that's insane. They led the whole year, and then City took it the last 5 games.
I think it was 92% of the games or something they led.
Let's move on to our player of the week for game week 9. I'll start. I've already talked about him a good bit, but it's this guy right here, Jacob Murphy. 1 goal, 2 assists. Every single touch that he had on Saturday was beautiful. Can't say enough good about this guy, and I'm excited to see what he does for the rest of the year. Hope he gets a little bit more game time.
Who'd you have, Luke?
Brian and Bueno. Great game.
Well deserved.
If I could give it to the Brentford front 3, I would give it to all of them. But since I have to give it to one, since I'm a follower of the rules, Brian and Bueno.
Have followed the rules this week.
I was just waiting to see who you gave it to. I was going to give him to the other one. I got Mo Salah. Mo Salah.
Could have given it to a good bit of people this week.
Could have given it to Chris Wood.
Wood. Elanga had 2 assists.
Luis or Douglas Luis.
Mhm.
All righty, let's
I'm
move
excited.
to
I'm excited for my stinker of the week. So
let's move to stinker of the week. Then I've already gotten mine out of the way. Calvin Bassey, absolute dog shit.
I'll get my easy one out the way as well. I got the Bournemouth goalkeeper, and then I kind of combined with, it's breaking the rules, but they're on the same team, and it was for the same play. So Billings and the Bournemouth goalkeeper, you need a precious point there. You have to realize how crucial the last 3 minutes are. Getting a point versus a team, Yeah,
Who you got,
that's
Deuce?
that.
I'm gonna go with the lady commentator for the Nottingham Forest Luton Town game. She was commentating on the replay of one of Chris Wood's goals. She called him Chris Brown originally.
Wait, is this an American woman?
No, she's British.
Okay.
Oh, Lord.
And then she said he redirected the ball across Matt Turner's face. Matt Turner is the goalie for Chris Wood's team, so that's not possible. She said the wrong goalie's name. That's stinker week.
Stinker of the week there.
Yeah, now she's
Good
getting all
stinker.
in the commentary booth.
Whoever was commentating the Burnley game as well, when he was introducing the teams, called Lyle Foster, Lyle Turner. Another bad one, but
how hard can it be, guys? How hard can it be?
I mean, the Matt Turner. I get the Chris Brown. Maybe you're listening to Chris Brown earlier. She did correct herself, but
Chris Brown,
no correction.
But it's like nowhere near.
She probably noticed like a little bit after she said that, and I'm fired. I'm fucking finished.
I guess Wood is brown, so I guess that's I don't know. Let's move to our middle segment for this week, though. It's going to be
tobacco.
Top 10 players from 2013 to 2023 not named Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo. So I guess we're just going to take turns going through them. Do y'all want me to start?
Yeah, go ahead.
All righty. So I've got one honorable mention. It's going to go to Mr. Gareth Bale. I think stats don't back up his play enough. Having to take kind of a backseat to Cristiano Ronaldo those years. But, I mean, he's got some of the most important and amazing goals in Champions League history. I think one of the best players of all time, especially, best British player of all time. Number 10, I'm going to have Mr. Manuel Neuer, the only goalkeeper in my list. I think he revolutionized the position and set a higher standard for goalkeepers around the world. So I think he's got to be in the list. Also came third in a Ballon d'Or voting one year. In ninth, I'm going to have Mr. Antoine Griezmann. I think the stuff that he was doing for France before Mbappe came around was amazing. He's always been flying for Atletico Madrid. Didn't have the best years at Barcelona, but is right back to great form. He's already got 7 goals this year. And I think he had like 15 goals, 16 assists last year. So he's been great throughout the decade. In eighth, I'm going to have Luis Suarez. I've got him in eighth. It was 7th or 8th for me. It was kind of hard. But I mean, just amazing player, in the best attacking trio of all time, MSN. An insane amount of goals. I think his season for Liverpool the year before he went to Barcelona says a lot more about his career than just playing with MSN, because you're playing with 2 of the best players in the world. It makes it a little bit easier, but that season at Liverpool, just amazing. Really deserved to win the Premier League. In 7th, I'm going to have Benzema, though, right over him. It was really tough, but I think the Ballon d'Or, and me and Meeks talked about it. I think it's just the nostalgia of that Champions League run, but you look at some of the goals, the timing, how technical. I mean, he's dropping deep into midfield, progressing the play, getting it back, finishing perfectly. I just, and especially, I mean, he was there at Real Madrid. I think he's got maybe 5 Champions Leagues, 4 or 5. But he was there with all those teams. He took a back seat to Ronaldo, allowed him more space in the middle, especially.
Been
But
about
then
6
after
Champions
Ronaldo
Leagues.
left, he took over. He took the keys and let him do another Champions League final, won a Ballon d'Or. So I think Benz sneaks in there for me. In 6th, I'm gonna have Kevin De Bruyne. I mean, just if Luka Modric wasn't a human being, he'd be probably the best midfielder of all time, in my opinion. Absolutely clinical for Man City ever since he's gotten there. Even at Wolfsburg, he was amazing. And then in 5th, I'm going to have Luka Modric, Ballon d'Or winner, got Croatia to a final in the World Cup in 2018. Was amazing in that World Cup. He's been amazing ever since he got to Real Madrid from Spurs. So I think he's got to be there. I think the greatest midfielder of all time over Xavi and Iniesta, all those other dudes. But that's another debate for another day. In 4th, I'm going to have Mr. Mo Salah, the greatest Premier League player of all time. Just amazing. Ever since he's gotten to Liverpool, he's just willed that team to greatness. They've been a staple in the Premier League, neck and neck with City almost every single year. And he's been the leader of that team, so I think he's got to be there. Top 3 now. This might be a little bit shocking, but number 3, I'm going to have Kylian Mbappe. Since 2018, he has just been probably the best player in the world. Not named Messi or Ronaldo. I think he's going to continue to be that. Has he been in 3 World Cups? No, he's only been in 2 World Cups. Was playing amazing for France even before the first World Cup that he went to in 2018. Played amazing for Monaco, made his move to PSG. He is playing in France, but he's putting up a shitload of goals every single year. He's been amazing. And then really just for France, man, 2 World Cup finals, 1 World Cup already. A hat trick in the World Cup final against Messi, came so close to winning it. I've never seen anyone just will their team back like that. So I think he's got to be there. I think in the next decade, he'll for sure be the number 1. Number 2, I'm going to go Robert Lewandowski. Just perennial goal scorer. Every team that he's ever played for, between Dortmund, Bayern, now Barcelona, he's always going to score goals. It doesn't matter who's around him. Just finds the back of the net. 5 goals in fucking 3 minutes or some bullshit. Some crazy fucking number.
No, it was like 10 minutes, but yeah.
10 minutes.
It was
Still
5 goals in 9 minutes.
5 goals in 9
What's
minutes. Fucking
3 minutes?
stupid, bro.
3 minutes.
It was some bullshit like that, dude. It's a fucking stupid ass
Might as
number
well.
to get 5 goals. Even if it is in the Bundesliga. And then number 1, I'm gonna go Neymar. I think skill, stats. I really didn't realize how good of a career he's had at PSG. And while it is in Ligue 1, wow. The goal tally and the assist tally, just amazing. When Messi was hurt for that 1 year, he took over the team, and there was really almost no drop off. Ever since he got to Barcelona, he was just class. At Santos, if you want to count Santos, beautiful. And then when he moved to PSG, got him to a Champions League final, lost it, but it was pretty much all him. And PSG hasn't gotten anywhere near since. So I think he's got to be number 1. That would be my list.
Well said. I think 10th, I had a couple guys fighting for 10th. Everybody else was definitely solidified in the top 10, but I had Harry Kane and Antoine Griezmann just duking it out for 10th. To me, for one, Griezmann was supposed to save Barcelona. He didn't. Fucked it almost. Not single-handedly, but he fucked it.
He is still trophyless in his club career, I believe.
So he goes from Atletico to Barcelona, and Atletico wins the league.
So
All right. And then I
he
got
was
Harry
on loan
Kane.
there last year, right? I'm pretty sure he was on loan there last year, and then he made a permanent move back there this year.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Mhm.
But then you got Harry Kane. I thought I was going to put Harry Kane in anyway. Even I thought Griezmann won the league with Atletico, even though it's way harder to get second in the Premier League twice in a decade than it is to win the La Liga one time. Because you went, I don't know. You just have to split points with Barcelona and Real Madrid, and then the rest is cake if you really want to go serious about winning the La Liga. Anyway, I'm going to put Harry Kane 10th. I have Benzema 9th. I think during the era where there were the two front threes, I think 5 of those guys were the top 5 players in the world, and one of them wasn't a top. I don't think the other one was a top 6 player, or 7 maybe. But you got to give him props for his Ballon d'Or. Kind of a weak Ballon d'Or list compared to the other Ballon d'Or years in this decade.
They're gonna start
But
looking like that.
it is a Ballon d'Or. But I'm not even gonna. Me and Arto arguing about him and Suarez all day, but I have Suarez 5 spots ahead of him. So I'm just gonna move on from Benzema. 8th, I got Bale. In that front 3, Bale doesn't have Ballon d'Or.
He doesn't
whatever,
have,
but
his stats aren't amazing either. But
in that front 3, you'd rather take out Benzema than Bale.
Mhm.
And Bale was a top 4, 5 player in the world for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, just couldn't stay healthy.
Yeah. That's the other thing on this list. I tried to have a good mix of solidity and longevity versus who maybe somebody that was the best in the world for a year or something like that. But yeah, Bale was top 5 player in the world for honestly the first 5 years of this decade. Maybe ducking out a couple times, but at 7th, I got Mbappe. Just the second half of this decade, it's either him, Kevin De Bruyne, or Mo Salah, best player in the world in the second half of this decade. So 6, I got Mo Salah. So I guess I did put him over Mbappe because neither of them really did much before 2018.
You got my 3 and 4 at 7 and 6.
Yeah. Yep. I put Lewandowski at 5. Lewandowski is what it is, speaks for himself. Just
Goals.
Just goals. Just goals. I got Suarez at 4. I got Neymar at 3.
Wow.
I got Kevin De Bruyne at 2. I got Luka Modric at 1.
Wow. Luka Modric at 1. Wow.
I went with-
That's why
I
you got
went
him as
with-
your backer. That's surprising, man. I didn't
I
think
went-
you'd do that.
Yeah. I went with solidity and longevity for my
He's a-
top 2 spots.
I like that, man. I like that. I mean, Luka Modric has been a staple in that team for so long, and he could. I think he might be done after this year. He could play for 4 more years if he wanted to. There'd be no drop off.
Or
No
he could just go dominate the Saudi or the MLS. God, he would dominate the MLS.
I don't think he'll do that. I think he'll
Nah, he
retire.
wouldn't.
I think he'll retire from Real Madrid. I think he's just that good.
Yeah,
that
probably.
Um,
But yeah.
Deuce, who you got?
Honorable mention, Luis Suarez, 11.
Wow. Wow.
I think-
Miguez is not liking that.
No, and I had him.
You had him what?
So I think he was on Liverpool.
Mhm.
You kind
We
of
got 7.5 minutes left. That's all
Okay,
right.
you compare his. I'm gonna go quick. You compare his career with Mo Salah. Liverpool weren't that relevant when Suarez was there. Salah brought Liverpool back,
He did.
and then I think you plug in Suarez to a machine that had Messi and Neymar. I think it
Wow.
was tough for him to fail.
That's
Suarez-
a
Liverpool
good
would've
logic
won the
right
league.
there. I
Listen,
like that
Liverpool
logic.
would have won
good.
the league that year if
I
Steven
love
Gerrard didn't
Suarez.
slip.
I love Suarez. Really, I do. Number 10, I got Mbappe. Not long enough. I don't think he's done that much in the Champions League. I think if we take out 8 games of his career in the World Cup, it's not the same resume
Those
at all.
8 games are so good.
Yeah, they're lethal. And that's why, but he's also been relevant for 5 years. So
Hat-trick in the World Cup final.
It's that compounded with the fact he's really only been around for 5 years.
Yeah, it's half the decade though, man.
Number 9, I got Griezmann. I think Griezmann's so underrated. He's been doing it for most of this decade. He's the all-time leading scorer for Atletico Madrid. That's pretty crazy.
Wow, that is pretty fucking crazy.
Number 8, I got Harry Kane. I think he was the best player on a team. And now, like, honestly, this year with Spurs kind of hurting them, but I think they had the best coach they've had in a long, long
He
time. The
willed
best
that team.
in a long, long
Yeah,
time.
he willed that team to a Champions League final. So I mean,
He's doing great on Bayern right now too.
And he's a perennial goal scorer. I mean, he's Lewandowski without the Champions League.
Yeah. All right, number 7, I got. Ooh. I'm gonna go Neymar.
Dude, fuck me. I put
think
Neymar
that's
one,
big
and I'm
for
not
Thomas
even that
Muller.
big of a believer.
I think he got plugged into the machine a little bit too, less so than Suarez, and he kind of did his own thing at PSG for a while. He didn't really show up in the World Cup, and he
gets
didn't
hurt
show
every
up at
time.
all. He didn't show
Because
up
he
at
gets
all
hurt?
the last couple of years in soccer, really.
He's
So,
got more injuries than he is years old, I believe.
Yeah.
It's some crazy shit.
so I just flopped him with this guy. I'm gonna go Mo Salah at 6. Love what he's done. Rejuvenated Liverpool. Number 5, I'm gonna go the best guy I've ever seen in the position, Manuel Neuer. That's
Wow.
pretty high, but
It's pretty high, but I mean, well
he's the
deserved.
best I've ever seen. And he's been doing it for a long time. Number 4, the other best guy, the best guy I've seen at his position that y'all left off y'all's list, Virgil van Dijk. I think
Wow. I almost threw a defender on, and it was between him and Ramos. And it
I
probably
think
would
there
have
had
been
to be
him, but
someone.
like it's just he also like he had if we just isolated it to like 3-year periods or whatever, or 2-year periods, Virgil van Dijk's the greatest center back of all time. But he's dropped off a little bit since his ACL injury. So I that's why I left him.
Fair. Number 3, I got KDB. He's the engine behind the best dynasty we've seen in a long time in the Premier League.
That's fair.
Number 2, Lewandowski. 2 Champions Leagues in that time period. Almost a third. Well, that was 2012 actually, but almost a third with Dortmund. Got snubbed for the Ballon d'Or just because it was COVID. Still didn't make sense.
He would have won that Ballon d'Or.
Yeah.
So
And number
I think
1,
it's just fair to give it to him.
Luka Modric's third best player in this generation.
Wow. Both of y'all
think-
on Luka Modric. I feel like a fucking dipshit right now.
I
went
think pound for
'cause I
pound.
just-
I think pound for pound, Croatia's had the best World Cup runs.
the
of any
most
country.
surprising
Smallest
by
country,
far.
and it's mostly, or not mostly, but it was a golden generation. But like he was
It
the
was
engine.
him. It was him, bro. It all ran through him.
And he's got a Ballon d'Or, not to mention first Ballon d'Or that wasn't Ronaldo or Messi in a decade.
He
And
deserved it. He deserved
won
it.
all those
Ronaldo had a lot
Champions
of goals that year, but I mean, World Cup final. Messi's gonna win his this year. So.
And he moved to Madrid when he was 27, and he was trophyless.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Now he's
He
one of the
managed
most
to
decorated
get
dudes in
them.
football.
So
Me and Ert
that's
talked
my
about
list.
it was him making his list, and then as he's going, he's talking to me. I'm doing something else, but Neymar won this and that. I'm like, yeah. And then I actually go to write these names down like an hour later. I'm like, how am I going to put somebody over Kevin De Bruyne? And I'm like, oh, it's Modric. I'm like, how am I going to put anybody over them two? I understand Lewandowski, and I also understand Neymar, but Modric
I think
and
just skill wise.
Kevin
I
De
went more
Bruyne.
skill wise. I think
Yeah, you did. But Modric and Kevin De Bruyne,
very skilled.
they've been for their position pound for pound type thing. They've been as good as like Neymar and Suarez, but for 8 years of the 10 or 9 years of the 10 instead of just 3 or 4. So that
I went also based off of like just trophies and stuff. Like KDB should have been higher for me because of the treble and Modric as well. But Salah, man, just how important Salah is to his team. If you took Salah out of those teams, they're not doing anywhere near what they did. Same with Mbappe. Not same with Mbappe, but Mbappe has been insane since he came onto the scene.
It's so weird because you can split it at 2018 before and after, and there's a chunk of players that only shined after and a chunk of players that only shined before. And it's just interesting to see who we picked.
Bob is the only player that any of us mentioned that's below the age of like 28.
Yeah, and it's just because literally every year since he's came onto the scene in 20, I think it was maybe 2017. Scene.
Yeah.
For Monaco, but ever since then he has just been every single year he's been up there, and he's got a good bit of Ballon d'Or nominations, I believe, as well. Alrighty, let's move on to our game week 10 predictions. Let's start with Crystal Palace versus Tottenham. I'm gonna go 2-1 Tottenham.
Luke, you go second in these. Didn't write mine fucking down.
Okay. Damn, short break for Tottenham, huh? Let's go 2-0 Tottenham.
Let's go. I'm gonna have Adams up too. I'm gonna go 2-0 Tottenham. Adam said 2-0 Tottenham.
Alrighty. Let's move to the Chelsea versus Brentford game. I'm gonna go 2-2 draw.
We'll also go 2-2 draw.
Let's rock, baby.
I'm gonna go. I haven't seen Chelsea win in a fight this year, but if Brentford gets on the sheet, we're gonna have to fight, and I do think we win either way. I'm going 2-1 us.
And what did Adam say?
1-0 Chelsea. Here we go.
1-0 Chelsea. All right. Let's move to the Bournemouth versus Burnley game. I'm going to have a 1-1 draw here as well.
Ooh. 1-1. Yeah, I like that.
Let's go.
Could be a shit bowl right there.
Let's go 1-1.
What Adam have?
I mean, Adam. I think Adam skipped it.
We'll just say that he's got 2-0 Burnley.
Yeah, he went from 1-0 Chelsea to 3-1 Arsenal.
All righty. We'll just say he got 1-0 Burnley. Let's move to the Arsenal versus Sheffield United game. I'm going to have 3-0 Arsenal.
Three-one Arsenal.
Adam went 3-1 Arsenal as well. I'm going to go 3-0 Arsenal.
All righty. Let's move to the Wolves versus Newcastle game. I'm going to have 3-1 Newcastle.
Ooh. I'm going to 2-1 Newcastle.
That's what Adam went, and that's what I'm going to go.
These guys are just trailing.
Yeah,
West Ham versus Everton. I'm going to go 2-1 West Ham. I think they bounce back from the Villa beating. I think this is going to be a close game.
Yeah. We'll go 3-1 West Ham, just to be different.
Go 1-1.
What Adam have?
2-1 West Ham.
All righty. Let's move to the Aston Villa versus Luton Town game. I'm going to have 4-0 Villa, easy.
Two-one Villa.
Adam said 3-0 Villa. I'm gonna say 3-1 Villa.
Alrighty. Brighton versus Fulham. I'm gonna have. I really wanted to go 3-1 right here, but I'm gonna go 2-1 Brighton.
Yeah, 2. Ooh, yeah. 3-1 Brighton.
I'm gonna go 2-0. 2-0 Brighton.
What's Adam got?
Adam went 2-0 Brighton.
Alrighty. Move to Liverpool versus Nottingham Forest. I'm gonna go 3-1 Liverpool. Classic.
I'm gonna go 3-0 Liverpool. Oh, they do like to give up that early goal though.
3-1.
I'm gonna go 3-1 Liverpool.
We're all gonna go 3-1 Liverpool.
Alrighty. And Man United versus Man City. Manchester derby to end the week. I'm gonna go 3-0 City.
I'm gonna go 2-2 draw. Man
Wow.
United tied
Wow.
up in the 88th minute. Scott McTominay.
Oh
Well, you're nuts on the
Damn.
line, son. Damn.
shit!
Wow.
That's
Wow.
a fuck.
Wow.
That's balls
Got
to the
that off
wall
his
right
chest.
there. I love that. Let your nuts hang.
Go
big girl home.
me and Adam are going 4-1 City.
I mean, I don't think it's
And
gonna
we got word from our Man U insider, Man U super fan. Let me pull up words. I don't want to misquote anybody. Our Man U super fan is gonna go. Not in Snapchat, is in text. Our Man U super fan has gone for 7-1 Manchester City. We've got he's got Foden hat trick, Holland hat trick, Alvarez 5 assists, and Scott McTominay insane volley to make it 1-1 at one point and give the Reds some hope.
Wow.
Thought that was pretty spot on.
What a prediction.
Props to that guy.
Alrighty. Well, that'll be it from us on episode 9 of Yankin' My Ball. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure to like and subscribe. Maybe leave a little comment for us, man. We miss y'all's comments. We miss talking to y'all. Deuce gets so excited, man.
so giddy.
But yeah, we appreciate y'all tuning in. We'll see y'all next episode.